Taurus, welcome. This is a reading for the season of Aries. Aries heralds the new astrological year, beginning with the new moon that we had just a couple of days ago in Aries. This time around, we have 2 new moons in Aries. And the second one will be a solar eclipse, which makes it a new moon on steroids. So this season is really charged, not only for Aries in particular, but for all of us, because lots of major astrological changes are taking place. Major outer planets either have changed sign or are changing signs. Pluto is entering Aquarius, which is huge. Jupiter is changing signs. Saturn entered Pisces, and Saturn being the father, the disciplinary in Pisces, asks of us to bring discipline to our spirituality, to our spiritual practices. It asks us to ground them. It asks us for diligence around our spiritual practices. So, Aries is a time for planting new seeds, new intentions. And this is as I just said, a very potent time. So it's very important for us to be careful what we wish for, as they say, and be very conscious of what we manifest, of what we intend to manifest, to bring into fruition, to give form. It's very important that we not only draw on the drive of Aries and the individuality of Aries, because Aries is the sign of individuality, the sign of I am. So it's very timely for us to bring about change and create new beginnings for things involving our individuality. It's a good time to take back power to ourselves, right? But again, with the carefulness and the consciousness of what it is we do want to bring about. Let's see, Taurus, what's going on? King of Cups in reverse. Knight of Wands. So the Wands are a very Aries energy. It talks about impetus. It talks about starting. It talks about the spark. So there's an openness here. There's a readiness. There's a go, 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 go energy of exploring, new exploration, the readiness to explore and to go and to gallop. There's perhaps here sexual drive. There may even be you know, the sexual playfulness without the emotions. You know, the Knight of Wands can be known for that if it's ill-dignified. And here we do have the King of Cups in reverse. So there's either an unwillingness to put one's emotions on the table, or there's an incapacity. There's someone here that is not showing their emotions because they either can't or they either won't. It's usually one of those. So this can be yourself, this can be somebody around you, or this can just be the energy around you. Perhaps you are guarding your emotion. Perhaps it's not really what you're doing right now. The emotion is put to the side. There's a danger with the King of Cups in reverse, which can be that of a passive aggressiveness. So with this fire of the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, oh yeah, sure, there's a readiness to, you know, get started and get to it and to go and to tackle and to go for it, or maybe even again want to get under the covers, but without that emotional availability or readiness or capability. Maybe, you know, perhaps there's also new ideas coming about, and they come up quickly to the surface. Oh, you know, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to pursue this. And then acting on it very quickly, very promptly, right after it's conceived. You know, like one thing goes together with the other. Think it and do it, you know? However, it may lack maturity. There may be a lack of maturity to execute these, at least at the moment, at this moment, or, you know, pertaining to whatever idea is being launched. It's important to make sure that there's maturity to act on it, to see it through, but also a need to pay attention to the need for the idea itself to be matured. Yeah, a lack of seasoning that's taking place here, whether it's around someone, a situation, or an idea. Wow, we got some big players on the table here. Okay, so we do see some maturity here. And we do see strategy. Okay, now we're talking. We do see strategy, maturity, knowing what it takes, doing what it takes, putting in the work, because also supporting the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands, we have the Three of Wands. So this shows me that, you know, some deliberating did take place. Some thinking about it, sleeping on it, sitting with it, organizing the ideas, bringing together the ideas, establishing what it is exactly that's required. I see that has taken place. Some maturing of the idea has taken place. Some maturing of the will of what it is you want to move forward with and bring about. And there's a lot of support, but perhaps it's also a good idea to check in with yourself, whether it's through meditation or prayer, but checking in with your higher self. Checking in with your emotional self. Making sure that your emotional self is on board. So that the idea can be, you know, to make sure that it sits well. And that it's not only being acted upon because it sounds good, or because it looks good, or because it's alluring, or because that's the, you know, the right thing to do right now. But is this, how will this sit with you in the long term? What holds true today, will it hold true tomorrow? Does it sit well with your belief system? Not only today, but also tomorrow. Will it be a truth that will hold as truth? Not a temporary truth, but what your higher self calls truth. Or is there a need to look at that? Perhaps there is a need to look at that. Perhaps this new beginning calls for evaluating. what is true for you. So you're definitely bringing knowledge from past issues of the heart, which continue to be true. So what are you bringing? What are you taking from that experience? What have you learned from that experience? And what can you learn now? I see there is definitely a need to ground. So yes, check in with your higher self, yes. Or with your guides. And see where the grounding needs to take place. Or see where you can ground the idea. And perhaps what's being pointed to is, sitting with those emotions can be a grounding point, a grounding place to bring that balance. You have a lot of fire and a lot of air on the table. We don't see much water, we don't see much earth. So let's ground. Sit with your feelings, feel your feelings. Are we feeling our feelings? Because that's gonna guide you. Because you can get as intellectual as you want, or as inspired as you want. But what is that grounded on? Make sure that's established. Make sure that's clear. And you're going to feel your way through it, because your gut will tell you. What's true for you and what's real for you. There we go. The Queen of Cups. Okay, definitely. And the Page of Swords. There's a lot of mental action. There's a lot of motivation, inspiration. So make sure feelings are drawn on as a reference. Your feelings will guide you. Will actually guide the way. Your heart and your gut will guide the way. And it's all good. Boy, do I extend on the Taurus reading. Okay, good stuff, Taurus. Happy Aries season, and let it be.